fans, Black Friday has come early this year, and we're ripping up our prices for a limited time only. Get the heaviest hitting deal of the year. Save up to 33% on all plans and stack up your fight calendar with over 150 fights a year. Live on The Zone.
What a fight we have here in our main event.
And then enjoy a knockout November schedule. Subscribe before November 29th. Sign up at thezone.com/boxing.
You know, I listened to Tyson Fury yesterday in the press conference he had with Alexander Usyk, and when he was faced with Alexander Usyk, for me it was interesting because, as I said, there wasn't the, what's the word I'm looking for? The antics is the word. There wasn't the antics that were happening at the first press conference, in a sense of Tyson Fury shouting at Alexander Usyk, you know, very brazen, you know, you're this, you're that. He seemed angry almost at that first press conference. There wasn't any of that. And straight off the bat, he went from, in previous interviews, saying, oh, I got to knock him out to win, they won't give it to me, this, that, and the third, to just saying, yeah, look, he won the fight. I'm better in rematches, which, you know, Tyson Fury, he has done better in rematches. That's very, very true. Not to the level of opponent of an Alexander Usyk, but nevertheless, no, he is right. He has done better in rematches, and he's done even better in he's had more entertaining trilogy fights, like with Deontay Wilder. I was going to say a Chisora trilogy fight. You could take it with a... You can probably say the second fight was Fury's best performance, and it was against a much fresher Chisora than that was. But Fury, it was interesting listening to him in that press conference, and subsequently, post-press conference, he gave an interview with Boxing News, and he talked about some of the things that were going on in his life prior to the Alexander Usyk fight, with his wife Paris tragically miscarrying the week of the fight. Now, Fury said that, and a lot of people were like, oh, you know, it's Tyson Fury, this, that, the other. No, not with something like that. He said she was about 6 months gone, and that is not a straightforward, you know, miscarriage. And I think Fury and Paris, God help them, they've had miscarriages in the past. That's not as straightforward as, say, if it had been a miscarriage after about 6 weeks or so, and Tyson actually said it was a boy. Now, in spite of what you might think of Tyson Fury, in spite of some of the things he said over the years in terms of some of the out-and-out lies he said, saying he's going to donate his purse, this, that, and the other, in spite of what you may think, that is not something that someone would lie about. And Tyson Fury is not, he's not, I don't know Tyson Fury as a person, right? So I'm not going to make a judgment of him, but from what I can see, I don't think he's inherently a bad person. And to lie about something like that would be just inhuman, you know? I mean, 'cause there's people out there who couldn't even, you know, get that far, and to lie about something like that, you wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. So I believe Tyson Fury wholeheartedly with that. And when I hear something like that, I do think to myself, oh, wow, you know, I know fighters can say that when they're in the ring, elite fighters have this way of just compartmentalizing from what's actually going on in their personal life. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, I know Rocky Fielding is no great shakes, but he did have some, I don't want to go into detail, I mean, Google is your friend, look it up, but there was a lot of issues with one of his brothers, and, you know, it begins with a C, you know, Mexico, you know, L something something. There was issues with them. I don't want to go in for the algorithms, but there was issues with Canelo and his brother back in 2018 with that, going into the Rocky Fielding fight. And then also we're going to say it was only Rocky Fielding, well, no disrespect, but in comparison to Canelo, yes. But still, nevertheless, going through an ordeal like that, you know, it's gonna cause some issues for the fighter. And Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, they're able to compartmentalize that, at least to the extent where they can go into a fight, perform like you wouldn't even know. And having heard that, and having seen the way Tyson Fury, he seems to, I know he'll say, and he'll probably still say it, you know, even going up to the fight with someone like a Dev Sani or someone like that, no disrespect to Dev, I'm not saying it in that regard, but you know what I mean, to maybe some other interviewer saying, oh, you know, Usyk, you know, he only got the decision because of this and this, that, and the other. I think that he revealed a lot in that press conference, and I think that his team are working on improvements. I know Spencer Brown was saying something worse to the effect of Tyson Fury is going to come into this fight heavier, and he flat out admitted that in the press conference, which I'm take it or leave it with that. to be honest with you. I did think Tyson Fury, his body looked very soft, not in the sense of he was out of shape or anything like that. He was lighter than he had been in a couple of years, but it just in terms of definition, there was honestly, I've seen him more defined in terms of seeing his muscle or seeing bits of it when he's in the 270s as opposed to that. It was really weird. He's obviously, Alexander Usyk is the older guy, but his body looks like someone in their mid to late 30s, who keeps himself, well, I say most people in their mid to late 30s would be looking at Alexander Usyk and saying, I wish I looked like that. But you know what I mean? Someone who can, it's not inconsistent, you can keep yourself in shape in your 30s. But you know what I mean? Someone who's in their 30s, they've kept themselves in shape and they live an athlete's lifestyle. Tyson Fury doesn't do that. So even though he's the younger man by about a year, internally, God only knows what must be going on in there in terms of age. I think with this camp, you can't really turn it around in one camp. I think with this camp it will be better. I think that they know what they did wrong, they know the mistakes they made, they know their shortcomings. I know Andy Lee was trying to make it out as though Tyson Fury, given the fact that he couldn't spar properly after the cut he got February time last year, this year, last February just gone, that he wasn't able to spar properly. Yeah, but if you're still in training camp, if you're still keeping your sharpness, and you can always body spar. I know body sparring is not quite head sparring, but look, GB, they did body sparring. They might still do it. I think in GB they, do a lot of body sparring. I remember someone told me a couple of years ago, this was when I was in the amateurs, that in GB you can body spar to a certain extent, but if you move your hands in a certain way to really block it, you're allowed to throw a headshot. Someone told me that. Now, I don't know whether that's true. I've never been in a GB camp, but if anyone from GB knows if that's true or if that did happen, I think it's if you do a proper like that block where you can't physically touch the body. Someone told me that they're allowed to throw a headshot after that if the opponent does that. Could be wrong on that one, I don't know. They're being Team GB, obviously, so I don't know. But you can do that. I think Tyson Fury will be better this time around. Having said that, Tyson Fury coming back from a really, really tough fight like it was against Alexander Usyk, because that will take some coming back from. Make no mistake about that. That's going to take some coming back from. Also, given the fact that Tyson Fury, he's not lived the cleanest lifestyle, it's not as easy to just turn it around in one fight. I mean, if it was that easy, everyone would do it. Maybe when Tyson Fury was in his 20s and a lot more fresher, he got away with a lot of stuff back then in terms of, not living the cleanest lifestyle. I don't think at this stage he'll get away from it. And also you got to factor in that Alexander Usyk has already been talking about what he's going to change and that he's looked at the fight and he's looking to improve. So you're talking about a guy you already know that he needs to make improvements. This to me actually screams of a really good fight, and I think the more I think about this rematch, the more I think it's probably going to go the way of Alexander Usyk. It's probably maybe going to end in a knockout, but whilst the fight is happening, people, I think we are in for a real treat this Christmas with this fight. And we're not a million miles away from it. We're only about 2 months away from it. So, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know your thoughts. Does the revelations about the issues with Tyson and Paris and whatever I might think of Tyson Fury, the person, and again, I could meet Tyson Fury and I might like him. I've critiqued him aplenty, and understand I will critique a fighter like Tyson Fury when they've done things that warrant criticism, such as Anthony Joshua and Canelo have done in the past, and Canelo was doing with Dave Benavidez. It does not mean I hate the person. There's a very, very big difference. I don't hate anybody. It's a strong word, and I try not to let that get in on me. But Fury deserves the criticism in the past for ducking Alexander Usyk, for trying to gaslight the fans, for putting, mutton dressed as lamb on pay-per-view. He deserves that criticism. Does that mean I hate him as a human being and want the worst for him? Absolutely not. Paris comes across. I did briefly, now, I watched a couple of episodes of that At Home with the Furies. And I know people in my job kept commenting and saying, how wonderful Paris was. And she does come across as a complete lady. She really does. So, God bless her. That's an awful thing to go through. So, sympathies go out to them for having to go through that. I do think we are going to get a much better Fury this time. Definitely. But we could arguably get a better Usyk. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And until next time, people. Peace.